Have you ever seen rockets on TV burst up into the sky and wondered, how do they do that? There is no air in space, so rockets can't use propellers that push against air or balloons that float. Rockets burn mixtures of air and fuel and push against the exhaust to go forwards. Since there is no air in space to burn, rockets bring their own oxygen. Some rockets use oxygen chilled to extremely cold temperatures and stored as liquid. Rockets use solid fuel and oxidizer mixture. Both types create a controlled explosion that pushes out many times faster than a speeding bullet. Some rockets use heat that's supplied from a source other than the chemical reaction of fuel, such as steam rockets, solar thermal rockets, and nuclear thermal rocket engines. With combustive fuel, a chemical reaction is started between the fuel and the oxidizer in the combustion chamber. The propulsion of a rocket includes all the parts which make up the rocket engine: the tank pumps, propellants, powerhead, and rocket nozzle. The result is that hot gases accelerate out of a rocket engine nozzle. There are four major components to any full-scale rocket. That's the structural system or frame, the payload system, the guidance system, and the propulsion system. The first stage of rocket deployment gets the rockets out of the lower atmosphere. The first stage has to lift the entire rocket. Since it has to lift the rocket's payload, its cargo, and extra fuel that hasn't been used, it's the most difficult and dangerous stage of deployment. Rocket engines come in great varieties, which is why different designs fit different rockets. Military rockets have dated back to the 13th century in China. They were a big part of the Cold War on both sides. They were first used in the Soviet Union. In 1942, the V rocket was launched by Germany. After World War II, America captured German rocket scientists. Fortunately, a lot has changed about rocket design and use since then. Since the beginning of spaceflight, most rockets have had to release the different stages or parts of the rocket to break up into the atmosphere. But it is costly because it means that an entirely new rocket must be built for each flight. The Starship, though made by SpaceX, aims to be the first fully reusable rocket that can end up 200 times cheaper per flight. I interviewed Andrew Rader, who works at SpaceX. According to him, it's pretty difficult having the right design and controlling the spaceship. People 6-7 years ago didn't have access to this new technology. He also said it would be less expensive and you could send a lot more to space, and that really changes the way we think about space travel. This is really exciting news for people who dream of traveling to space. Who knows what the future will bring us, so we could be living on Mars.